Hey Reddit, throwaway account because, well, this is raw and real and I don't want this tied to my main. My wife and I have been married for 6 years. Together for 8. We were one of those couples everyone thought were perfect. The vacations, the Instagram smiles, the dinner parties. But let me tell you something, I don't care how good it looks from the outside. When it starts to rot, it starts from the inside out. I'll be honest. The first few years were great. She made me laugh, she challenged me, and I thought she had my back no matter what. We built a life together. We got a house in the suburbs. 2 cats. Talked about kids, though we weren't quite there yet. But the past year things started to shift. Slowly at first, like a painting crooked on the wall that you can't quite tell is off until you're staring at it long enough. She started going out more. Girls' night became a weekly thing, then twice a week. Then work drinks. Sometimes she'd come home late and say she had to Uber because she was too tipsy to drive. Which I appreciated until it became every time. She used to be glued to her phone when we were watching TV. Then suddenly, she started flipping it face down on the table. Notifications off. She said it was because work emails were stressing her out. I bought it. I wanted to trust her. God, I did. I was that guy who bragged about how he never had to worry about his wife. She was my ride or die, or so I thought. But the cracks were starting to show, and I was about to find out just how deep they went. Phone password. I noticed it one night while she was in the shower. Her phone lit up, and I reached for it instinctively to check the time. But the screen didn't unlock. New passcode. When I asked her about it, she didn't even hesitate. IT's making us change them every few weeks now. Something about company policy. I wanted to believe her, but her tone was too quick, too smooth, like she'd rehearsed it. Still, I let it go. I didn't want to be that paranoid husband who didn't trust his wife. But that gut feeling? It wasn't going away. Then there was her appearance. I know this sounds cliché, but she started dressing up more. Makeup every day, new lingerie, which, weirdly, she never wore for me. She even started going to the gym again, which she hadn't done in years. I complimented her. Told her she looked great, and she'd just smirk and say, "Thanks," trying to feel good again. I should have asked more questions. I should have pushed harder. But I didn't, because part of me was terrified of what I'd find. And I was right to be scared. Good? Want me to leave the porch light on? No reply. Midnight rolls around. Still nothing. Around 12:30, I get this weird feeling, like a chill running through my chest. I check her location. Yeah, we have each other on Find My iPhone. She's not at any restaurant. She's not moving. She's at some residential address I don't recognize. Middle of nowhere. No lights on the map. Just parked. I don't even know what made me do it, but I screen recorded her location. Something in me knew I'd need it. She comes home at 1:42 a.m. She's giggly. A little tipsy, apparently. She tosses her purse on the table and gives me a peck on the cheek like nothing's wrong. Smells like wine. Smells like perfume I haven't smelled before. Not hers. Amber says hi, she chirps, already kicking her heels off. I ask her, super casual, "Where'd you guys go?" "Oh, just this sushi place near the pier. Sat outside. Super cute." That's when I knew she was lying, because I checked her location again. That address? It was miles from the pier. No restaurants near it. It was a random house in a residential neighborhood. I didn't call her out right away. I played dumb. But inside, my stomach was twisting into knots. I knew she was with someone else. And I knew I was about to become the guy I never thought I'd be. The husband digging into his own wife's lies. That night I didn't sleep. She passed out quickly, curled up like everything was normal. Like she wasn't betraying me in ways I hadn't even let myself imagine yet. I laid there staring at the ceiling, going over every detail. The fake smile when she walked in. The casual lie about sushi. The address on her location history. Couldn't let it go. The next morning, I waited until she went out to run errands. Another new habit. The second the door clicked shut, I grabbed her laptop. She rarely used it, but I knew her Apple ID was synced across devices. What I found made my heart stop. There was a second email account logged into her browser. One I'd never seen before. Not her name. Not even close. It was some random mix of letters, like she made it to be untraceable. My stomach dropped. I opened the inbox. There were emails. Dozens. Some from him. Some from her. Some short, "Can't wait to see you tonight," face blowing a kiss. Some explicit. The guy's name was Drew. Apparently just a friend from work she'd mentioned once. Bald. Older. Drives a BMW. She used to make fun of him, said he was creepy. Guess that was a deflection. I read everything. Every word. The flirting. The lies. The hotel meetups. The weekends she spent at Amber's. One email literally said, "He has no clue." I just smile and lie. "He's so trusting it's almost cute." I swear my vision went blurry. I was shaking. Heart racing. I had to sit down. It felt like the ground under me gave out. The woman I married, the one I swore to protect and build a life with, was laughing at me behind my back. Mocking my trust like it was some kind of weakness. In that moment I didn't feel anger. Not yet. I felt numb. Like I was watching someone else's life implode from the outside. That same day, around 4 p.m., she walked back through the door with shopping bags in her hands and a Starbucks in the other, like she was coming home from a wholesome Hallmark commercial. She smiled at me. "Hey babe," she said, like nothing in the world was wrong. I didn't say anything right away. I just looked at her, looked through her. My heart was pounding in my chest, and my hands were shaking. "Where were you really last night?" I asked, calmly. She blinked, confused. "What do you mean?" "You weren't with Amber. You were at some guy's house. I saw your location, and I saw the emails. From Drew." Dead silence. Then she laughed. Laughed. Like I just accused her of being an alien. "You seriously went through my emails?" she snapped. I didn't respond. I just stared. And that's when she changed. Her whole face hardened. "Oh my God, you're insane. This is why I don't tell you things. You're always overreacting. I was at Amber's and we had drinks. I crashed on her couch. Drew? He's a colleague. He flirts, yeah, but nothing happened. You're being ridiculous." I was floored. Not because she was denying it, I expected that, but because she was so good at it. Like she'd done it before. Maybe many times. "You literally wrote, 'He has no clue.'" I just smile and lie. I said, voice barely above a whisper. Her eyes narrowed. Then she exploded. "You invaded my privacy. You had no right to go through my emails. Maybe if you paid more attention to me instead of sitting on your ass watching sports every night, I wouldn't need to talk to someone else." That was it. She wasn't sorry. She wasn't even trying to lie her way out of it anymore. She flipped the script and made it my fault. And for the first time in our marriage, I realized I was married to a stranger. After she blew up, she stormed off into the bedroom and slammed the door like I was the one who betrayed her. I just sat there on the couch in absolute disbelief. I couldn't wrap my head around how fast she turned it around on me. No apology. No remorse. Just deflection, gaslighting, and venom. An hour later, she came out like nothing had happened. Hair in a bun, yoga pants, scrolling on her phone. "You hungry?" I was gonna order Thai. I stared at her. "You seriously think we're just going to sit here and eat pad Thai like you didn't just emotionally nuke our marriage?" She didn't even look up. "I'm not doing this with you again, Jason. I'm tired. If you want to yell, go scream into a pillow. I'm not your therapist." That moment, that was the moment I realized she didn't care. Not really. I don't know when it happened, maybe months ago, but somewhere along the line, I stopped being her husband and started being just a piece of furniture in her life. Something convenient, comfortable, disposable. She didn't even try to fight for it. She just disconnected. Over the next few days, she pretended everything was fine. She went to work, came home, made dinner once like some weird performance of normalcy. I didn't touch the food. She didn't mention the emails again. Didn't bring up Drew. It was like she decided, if I ignore it, maybe it'll go away. But it didn't. I'd seen too much, felt too much. The mask was off, and I couldn't unsee the person behind it. After that surreal, cold stretch of a few days, I started watching her more carefully. Not to catch her. I already knew what she was. But to confirm something for myself. Was there anything left worth salvaging? Spoiler, there wasn't. The night that finally broke me, she got a call while we were both in the kitchen. She glanced at the screen, muttered, "I'll be right back," and practically sprinted out the back door with her phone. Didn't even try to hide it. She stayed outside for nearly 40 minutes, pacing back and forth in the yard in the dark like a teenager sneaking calls past curfew. I stood in the living room window, lights off, watching her silhouette as she laughed and twirled her hair. Literally twirled her hair like some schoolgirl. When she came back in, I was waiting. "Tell Drew I said hi." Her whole body stiffened, and she went cold again. That same expressionless face like she was a server dealing with a difficult customer. "You need to grow up, Jason," she said, brushing past me. "This is getting pathetic." No remorse, no guilt, just disdain. She didn't see me as a partner anymore. She saw me as an obstacle, something to step around while she built her secret life. And in that moment, it hit me like a freight train. She was never going to stop. She wasn't sorry. She didn't think she did anything wrong. She had rewritten our entire marriage in her mind to justify this double life, and now she expected me to play along like a good little idiot. That was the moment I emotionally detached. It was over, and I knew exactly what I had to do next. After that night, I went into autopilot. I stopped trying to talk to her. I stopped asking questions. I stopped hoping she'd come clean. I knew she wouldn't. She was too deep in the lie, too arrogant, too comfortable. But I wasn't going to explode. I wasn't going to scream or cry in front of her again. I was going to leave smart. I started documenting everything. Screenshots of emails, location history, texts. I backed them all up to a private drive and printed copies too, just in case. I met with a lawyer 2 days later during my lunch break. Didn't even tell my closest friend. I didn't want anyone tipping her off accidentally. I laid out everything, and the attorney just nodded like, "Yep, seen this 1,000 times." Turns out, her gaslighting? Textbook. Her coldness? Common. Her lack of remorse? All part of the pattern. Cheaters rarely break the mold. We didn't have kids, thank God. That made it cleaner. But our finances were tangled, shared accounts, mortgage, cars in both our names. It wasn't going to be simple, but it would be doable. And I started preparing emotionally too. Little by little, I stopped looking at her like my wife. I stopped picturing the girl I met in college. I started seeing the version of her that existed now. The one who lied so easily, who mocked my trust, who would have kept cheating if I hadn't found out. She was a stranger. She was someone I needed to get away from. The plan was forming, and soon I'd pull the trigger.